Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Devil's Door. In the last time around we made a deal with the devil and also really abandoned our friend during that party there. Well, I guess there's not much help as I'm going to get out of here. Turning to my surroundings, a harrowing realization comes over me. Waking up earlier, I was so disorientated I hadn't taken the time to look around me. Exactly, and now the red sun. This is my neighborhood. I have thought it was all a dream at first, but considering the tender mark on my hand, it just couldn't be the case. Regardless, I had a new task now. One I couldn't afford to fail. Still, where do I start? The devil said these candies were given to people who sacrificed other humans to him. My stomach turned once more. Who were these people? Do I know them? Did I know them? Steadying myself once more, I concentrated on my thoughts. Could Aunt Maury be one of them? No, I banished the thought from my mind. She was the kindest soul I'd ever met, and I'd seen her almost every holiday since birth. There was no way she could be it. Then Ash? No, not her either. Could be her either. She'd only been living here since a few months ago. He said the ritual was only for Halloween. The town of Marbrooke had only about 200 residents. It was tiny compared to the larger cities I'd grown up in. Many millions in London, for example. But I couldn't possibly visit all these houses by dawn. Think, who could possibly be evil enough to do such a thing? Who could have? Resolving myself, I headed for the only lead I had. Also, apparently was still on the, what do you call it? The main route of the game before we diverge into any of the other routes? It has a more simplistic name to it. This was it. It's not like I had my phone to check, but recalling the details of Alexa's invitation, I marked the Drift Springs Condors as my first destination. If anything, I needed to find out more about the people in this town, and out of anyone I knew, Alexa seemed to have the best connections. I wonder if this was even the right unit though, considering the decor was rather bright for the supposed Scare Queen, who also has ties to the police. I took a breath. How am I supposed to do this? I cursed. I was a lost soul now, right? What did that mean? Clearly I was able to touch and feel objects, and pain. So I wasn't a ghost. I could talk to the devil, but could normal people even see me? Bracing myself, I decided to start with a knock. Anyone home? A moment passes before the door opens. Hi there! Alexa came out in a new costume, looking as wicked as one could. Her breath caught at sight of me before coolly slipping into her usual coy grin.
My. Look at you.
Look at us.
Now I see why you ditched my party.
What do you mean? She steps in for a closer look as if examining my body for injuries. That meant, you know? And you can see me? Her laughter rang almost mockingly. So wait, does that mean you're a monster too? I felt my heart rate picking up. There's no way Alexa could tell I had just died if she weren't one of them. I stepped back. I was suddenly seeing her in a new light, as if a switch had been flipped. Then those wings, the horns, they're real. Even her eyes, well, they're real.
I'm a succubus. Get it right.
Yes. So you're still a monster, so that was it. I was going to school with a succubus. A demon hiding in human flesh. I had never taken Ash's theory so seriously. Where I got saved from, I don't know. Hell, I don't even think she could. But she was right. Alexa Weckerson was a demon. Alexa huffed. obviously grown impatient with my frantic but silent reaction. Even in this situation, I couldn't help but marvel at how true to character she was. I'm sorry. No one's taught me how to deal with learning my classmate is a succubus, Alexa. It's not on the curriculum, last I heard. My sarcastic remark engages her.
You don't know how lucky you are that you came to me first.
Really now? Excuse me?
I only prey on living souls.
Thanks for that. Does it mean that we're dead on the outside and the inside? How dare you? I struggled with the meaning behind her words.
You have no use for me now.
And guess what, darling? You didn't have a use for me at the very start of this relationship, so you can just scram.
But as for the others...
What about the others? A sinister smile crawls on her lips. From her lips.
Let's just say there's some out there still waiting for a midnight treat.
Thanks. A cold chill ran up my spine. You mean there's others like you? Worse? Unfazed, she carries on.
Of course.
Really now, let the weight of her words set in. So, not only did I have until dawn to find these candies, but if I wasn't careful I could potentially come across another monster happy to eat me. Again. I shook at the thought. Squinting my eyes, I willed myself to push down the terrifying memories. Look, Alexa, I don't know how it happened, but I made a deal with the devil. One that could give me another life. I just need to collect these candies.
Oh? Satan did that for you?
Yes, he did.
Whose bed did you sleep in to get that kind of a deal?
You know what? I don't know what kind of bed we slept in, but we slept in it and we dealt it. Shaking my head, I kept on. I just really need your help, Alexa.
Well, I don't have any, if that's what you're wondering.
Oh, fine. Slumping.
But I have a few ideas who could.
Who could they be? And what do I have to do to get that information out of you? I lifted my gaze to see her smiling. Alexa, thank you. I don't even know how to go about this. I need to get it all done by dawn. Do you have a map?
Let's see.
Let's see here. Inside. Outside. Mansion on top of... I forgot what I said. The raven-haired beauty obliges, returning with a crudely drawn map of our neighborhood with 4 marked houses. So these are the people who might have won Satan's game, right? I couldn't believe it. Top of hill. Just reading the map made my stomach clench. Alexa, you can't be serious.
You do remember you're the one asking me a favor, right?
No. She was right. Sarcastically. By the looks of it, she didn't even have an ulterior motive to do so. My eyes lingered on one part of the map. And, as if Alexia knew, she addressed it directly.
I wouldn't go there if I were you.
What do you mean?
After all, you never forgave him, right? I bet he's still heartbroken over it.
Mean the one in class? Alexia's words might have been a little too direct for my liking, but she was right. Ben, she probably wouldn't answer the door for me if I did come over. Maybe I should look for help elsewhere. So, why? Why are you helping me, Alexa?
Is it really that surprising?
Yes, and also yes.
Maybe it's because I like you.
Oh, okay, maybe that's to the point there.
I believe it's this thing called kindness.
Kindness from a succubus, okay. A laugh escaped me. Even in this dismal circumstance, Alexa of all people was able to make me laugh. That can't be right. I'll expect the bill for this to come later.
Cross my heart.
Okay, fine. Remembering I had a deadline, I thank her again and turned to leave.
Oh, and good luck.
Cheers. We're gonna really need it. Despite her reassuring words, I knew I'd need a lot more than luck to survive the night alive. Maybe if we think about it now, we should have been more forgiving of his actions during class. I pulled out the map Alexa drew. Was this custom cardstock? Putting the thoughts aside, According to this map, there are only 4 places I can go to. And the large S must have stood for Satan. It's no wonder I'd never go over there, considering the place is completely blocked off by the riverbank. Just 4 possibilities. I needed to make them count. Also, how do we get back into the real world? That's what I'm wondering. Just walking off into the red sunset. Where should I go? Where are we at the moment? There's no like, oh, you're here. So there's mansion, lab, cottage, house. Secret lab behind librarian's house. My place, your place. What does it mean by that? The mansion is probably the worst place to go. House at the end of your block. We'll go from bottom right to bottom left to middle to top left. Of all the places, I guess this was the time to prove whether or not the house at the end of the block was really haunted. Mentally preparing myself, I headed off. Of all places to end up, I couldn't believe I was at the house at the end of a block. The one that was haunted, according to Ash. I was always the more skeptical one between us two. But she had been right about Alexa. All I knew is I wasn't ready to prove another one of her theories. Not with the night I had thus far. Let's get this done. Knocking softly, tried to ignore the many unseemly scratches etched into the door frame. Looks like people were struggling to get in and they were snatched away by the hellhounds of the night. That and the single flickering light bulb that hung overhead. I stand there a little awkwardly, not knowing what to do next. Also, the horns of my head were beginning to create a dull ache that reminded me a bit too much of my recollection of memories prior. Just as I raise my hand to knock once more, a figure emerges. Oh my goodness sakes. Who called upon a Cthulhu here? At the sight of a slimy octopus-like creature coming out to greet me, a younger me would have fainted. Namely, the younger me that existed just hours ago. Compared to making a deal with the devil himself, however, this seemed almost expected. I blinked softly, trying to take in what was happening. The squid. Was he talking? As I stood there, mouth agape, the creature gestures towards my tier. Though I couldn't understand a thing, the purple-skinned creature seemed to have quite a liking towards my costume. A curt nod was given, and I awkwardly reciprocated. "Il vlei vlued our green prisme." Some sort of Cthulhu language. Ah, candy! I couldn't believe it. Without a single movement, an object was raised in front of me with everything I needed. Was this creature telekinetic and telepathic? Read our mind as to what we wanted, and also just moving it without him actually physically touching the candy itself. I cupped my hands together, accepting the gift gleefully. More Cthulhu language. As I showered the creature with gleeful gratitude, he respectfully bows and slides his door closed. That was much easier than I could have imagined, because this is what we are literally doing, is trick-and-treating, or trick-or-treating. We came here with our trick, you know, our wonderful costume that is totally not stuck to us forever because we made a deal with the devil and we're stuck in the lands of the undead. But this is definitely trick-and-treating. Trick-or-treating. Despite the daunting task, I started off with an undeniable peep in my step. How many was it in total? 3? My heart was racing, beating with anticipation. I breathed slowly, gearing myself up for another meeting with the devil. I'll make sure to knock this time. The door slides open without a noise, or anyone behind it for that matter. I'm once again greeted with warm lights and a whiff of potpourri wafting through the house. If I hadn't known who the owner of this manor was, I might have mistaken it for a happy family's wintertime chalet.
So you did it after all.
I sure did.
I'm pleasantly surprised. Really.
You are?
Shows me for underestimating a human. As promised, our contract is complete.
Our contract is complete, you say?
Your second chance at life is granted.
Well, I couldn't quite hear that, Satan. What was that? Our second chance at life is granted. I hand over the candy to his open palm. In seconds, I am overwhelmed by a surge of revitalizing energy as he crushes it before my eyes. I stared at my hands, embracing the warmth that enveloped my whole body. A heat I hadn't noticed I'd lost.
Now, how about you head upstairs to celebrate?
Thanks.
I know there's someone there eager to see you.
Satan, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Eager to see me? I considered declining but nodded along instead. Alexa, probably. Partially out of curiosity and also apprehension over what the devil might do if I didn't oblige. Then we shall go upstairs, but walk up was lawn. Satan told me to go upstairs, but not to which room. The grand manner stretch of a corridor seemed endless. In fact, I couldn't imagine its layout to even be possible, what with the square footage of the house from outside. It may be some sort of alchemized house, which on paper looks very, very bland, but on the inside looks very, very complicated. It led me past several doors, all of which were locked. I figured if the devil had the intention of leading me to a specific place, the door would at least be open. So I kept on, checking all the doors on my way. And then we reached the door at the very end. It was unique in itself, cut from a dark wood and built with a crystal-shaped doorknob. My curiosity piqued. I carefully slid the door open and stepped inside. Who is waiting at this point in time? The first thing I noticed was the smell of lavender that clung to the air, reminding me of laundry day with Aunt Maury. The fresh scent played a stark contrast to the room itself, which would have been completely black if not for the illumination from the window. Strange. Maybe I did enter the wrong room after all. I scanned the various items on the bookshelves while feeling around for a light switch. Musical books, jewelry items, and stuffed animals. They were all items that could be found in a little girl's room. Spelling error, sorry. For the devil said he had a son, not a daughter. Okay, maybe grammar. I glanced over, startled at the unknown sound I heard coming from the dark corridor. A sense of dread fills me as a pair of familiar eyes appear from the darkness. Just like before. As if paralyzed, my feet wouldn't budge an inch. Go! Run! No matter how much I willed myself, my body wouldn't move. Couldn't move. The fear I had was swallowing me whole, leaving me to die yet again at the hands of this unknown monster.
You made it.
I made it. Were you the voice that was calling me at least once at the beginning of the game? What? Was it talking to me?
I knew you would, my love.
No, I'm not your love. Just know, I watched in fixed horror as the monster began to move, began to morph in front of me. Oh my gosh, just what was that?
Since the very first day we met.
I've never met you. From the darkness came a red-eyed girl. Her grotesque figures became more human as she spoke. With fangs, a tail, and a third eye. And that extra eye looks like a cat's eye, and her haunting voice, like the one in my dreams.
The way you cared for me.
Do I need to censor this out?
Your kindness.
I don't understand. Who are you? How did you... I clutched my head. reading was coming back. Another one of these headaches I've been getting ever since I moved here. No, that wasn't right. It was ever since.
I knew you were the one.
Oh, goodness sakes, this cat? Is this the cat that we kept seeing? Is this the one that metamorphed? You're... Great.
Raya.
Raya, huh? What? I don't...
My name is Raya.
Did we call you Raya?
I can finally hear your sweet voice call my name.
Okay, please, put some layers on so we can actually have a conversation. None of this makes sense. Why? Why would you do this?
Don't you see, darling?
But I'm not your darling.
It was all for you.
For me? How comes? It was then that I caught a glimpse of cracked glass in my peripheral. My phone! You're the one who killed me. She stepped in closer, reaching for my face. Upon contact, I noticed her hand was wet and cold. Struck in petrified horror, I could only watch as she continued to rub the metallic blood into my skin.
To save you.
What do you mean, save me? What do you mean by saving us? You killed us. How is that saving? That's a very, very warped way of saving someone by killing them.
From your pain.
My pain? My pain only came when you came. I know that sounded
what
weird.
it's like to be hurt and feel lonely.
How many times have you done this to somebody? Like, are we your millionth victim?
But you'll never have to feel that again.
All these villains say exactly the same thing. I promise you this, I promise you that. I'm going to give you the best ride of your life, for goodness sakes.
Because I'll be here for you.
And what can you promise that no one else can? What was this girl thinking? I just got a second chance, though. I can't waste it. I have friends and family I need to get back to.
Oh, no.
What now?
You won't have to worry about that at all.
Did Satan lie to us after all?
I'll take care of everything.
Rhea, I am not following along your logic here.
All that's left will be us.
Nah, all that's left? What do you mean? My breath caught at the implication of her words. If she really was the cat I'd been visiting. But blood, where did it came from?
Oh, darling. I was only trying to help her.
Help who?
You see, she seemed so lonely.
Really?
Crying by the riverbank. All because of you.
Maybe we should have never seen this cat in the first place. Is that what it is? Maybe we should try and do, I don't know, a hypothetical route where we literally would not see or stroke the cat whatsoever. Ash was crying. All alone. Because of me?
So, I did the both of us a favor.
Did you kill her? Tears filled my eyes as I thought about all the times I wasn't there for Ash. I didn't try to be a good friend to others. So, you killed her? Bile rised to my throat and I found myself quivering like a leaf. Please. No, this couldn't be real.
My love, I only did what I had to.
And could you explain what that thing is?
So you could be mine. And mine alone.
Really?
I couldn't lose to that filthy wretch.
Hey, you calling our friend a wrench?
And really, I tried to give her a peaceful death. But the poor thing, she just had to put up a fight.
Thanks for that.
You should have seen it.
No, we don't want to see the death of our friend, thank you very much. She grins, manic in her delirium. Dancing around the room, she stops at the small table before stepping aside to proudly display her trophy.
The terror in her vibrant eyes.
Yikes.
The blood-curdling scream that filled the night. It was magnificent.
You have a morbid way of thinking things that are magnificent. Number one, something that's magnificent. Not a decapitated arm that's filled with cuts and possibly bite marks from the end of those fingers.
She just couldn't deny the inevitable. I wonder if the townsfolk will like the masterpiece I left behind.
Nah.
I've always been rather fond of the color red.
And can you only see the color red? She pressed closer to my chest as a sob racked through my body.
Oh, darling, don't cry.
Well, you're making us cry, for goodness sakes, darling.
It was what she deserved for loving you.
Oh, really? Did we not get that hint?
Only I can have you after all.
Fine.
Smile, darling.
My face is permanently sad.
From here on out, we'll be together.
I thought this might be the case.
Forever.
So what would happen if we go to a different location? Like, that could initially be 4 for 7 bad ends by going to a different location. But then, when it comes down to other past choices, then wouldn't that lead to the 3 bad ends and 1 good end? That could very well be the case here. But it was a really impressive looking game. It's got a very fantasy vibe about it from the offset, and also by the graphics as well. It's a combination of Cthulhu and Halloween. I think they're paired very well together. Paired very well together, that's what I was trying to say. So, looking at the CGs on the Itch.io page, there are other characters which we have not yet seen. And wait, has the... Okay. I was actually thought, did the game close down there? Also, when you load into the game, there's no load game. So, you always have to select new game, then go onto load game. So, we're going to try and pick a different choice at the house. Let's go to the cottage this time. I decided to head out for the cottage near the forest. Looking at the door in front of me, I scoffed. Alexa must have been intent of wasting my time. A heart-shaped wreath. Really? Nonetheless, I knocked on the door expecting an elderly retiree to greet me. No answer. Undeterred, I take a step forward to knock again. The blinds shuffle, and just for an instant, I lock gaze with a pair of eyes peering through. For a blink, they're gone. Then a voice calls out from the other side of the door.
Not interested. Thank you.
You may not be interested, but I want an interest, okay? Confused, I lean in and put my ear to the door.
Go away.
What do you mean, no way? I had a mission. Maybe if I tried a different approach. You know, I love to go on about my day, but a certain guy sent me. Satan.
Satan sent you?
Yes, he did. The man himself. I hear a few locks unlatching before the door swings open.
Where is it?
Oh, goodness sakes. What do you mean, where is it? Out comes a tiny green-skinned girl, maybe 4'8" at best. She waits for me with an annoyed expression. Where's what?
The payment.
What payment? I scratch my head, not knowing what I've gotten myself into.
Satan sent you without my money?
We didn't even know that he is in a debt with you.
He's been in the red since spring.
Well, thanks for that.
My forge is not a charity.
Okay, I took a step back. This one clearly had a temper, and the force behind her growls was only growing.
You tell her to go get my money.
Well, really, shaken by the sudden change in her voice, my knees buckle, and I wonder if giving up right now would be the best choice. I gulp, thinking about my options. Look, settle down. Hey, settle down.
What did you say?
I'm telling you to settle down, lady.
Looks like I have another soul to devour.
Thanks for that. Putting up my hands in surrender, I start to pivot, hoping to make a dash for it.
Say your prayers.
What now? I freeze at the sight of this tiny girl's body growing exponentially with her anger. Fangs erupted and veins popped as she continued to growl. Morphing into a tiny different being, An 8-foot orc stood in her place. Before I could move, her giant hand grabs me off the floor. I feel all the bones break my body before giving in entirely. Bad end gobbled up. Okay, so multiple ends in other people's routes. Okay, so I imagine another one would lead to another bad end, and then the other one would be the correct route, which will allow us to actually progress into the game more. Hopefully not leading to where the goodness sakes lady was at the end of the game that decided to think that we'll be together forever when that's not the case, because I don't want to be anywhere near her. I lied. But wait, I lied? I'm not with Satan.
You dare lie to me?
Look, I'm not with Satan, okay?
You filthy human!
You call me human. Look at you. You're the furthest thing from human that one could be, besides the human-shaped body.
I'm taking your soul as
Compensation.
Thanks for that. I'm glad there's a way that we could get out of this. Oh great, it's the same ending. It's the same ending. Yep, gobbled up. Bad ending. Okay, so it's just a different variation, but it's possibly just the same bad ending as the last time. I will get it. I'll get you your money.
You will?
Yes, I will. Yeah, I will.
Fine. Then I'll hear you out.
Thank you. Where do I start? I'm looking for these candies. They've got little eyes on them, and I wanted to see if there's any chance you had one. She nods for a bit and dips back into her house, but before bringing back out the exact candy in question.
You mean like one of these?
Yes, exactly like one of those. She holds up the exact item in question. Yes, that's it.
What do I get for it?
The money. The door was left slightly ajar, and inside I could see a fire-grating anvil with custom lettering. Focusing in on the engravings, I make out Meanie's Blacksmith Supply. Meanie? Miney? That's your name, right? She doesn't nod, but doesn't deny it either. Look, Meanie. I would do anything for one of those.
Anything?
Anything! For once her expression lightens a bit, and I can hear her excitement.
Then it's agreed, human. I'll give you one in exchange for your servitude.
And what exactly is that servitude involved? Really? Sure.
I need an assistant in my work.
And how does that involve us
For
then?
this, you'll be my slave for 2 years.
But we only have until morning to give this candy to the devil, to Satan himself. I refuse. 2 years? That's unreasonable. I refuse.
Playing games with me, human?
Yes, I am.
Well, I say your lot is better as food.
Well, thanks.
I'll crush you now.
It's another variant of... Yep, another variant of gobbled up. For goodness sakes. How many different variants of the same ending can we get? And it's a bad one at that. Accepted. It's not like I had much of a choice anyway in my predicament. Fine. I accept your deal.
Good. Here's what you wanted.
Yep. She hands the candy to me, and I feel a wave of relief wash over
From
me.
here on out, show up to this house every day at 6 a.m. sharp.
6 a.m.?
If you break your promise, human.
I'll break you.
Thanks, we've already got a glimpse as to what could happen. The door slammed shut before I could get another word in. I smiled regardless. I did it. Now I could get a second chance. Resolving myself to face Satan one more, I head back towards his manor. And I feel like it's going to be exactly the same dialogue than before. My heart was racing with beating with anticipation. Giving myself another meeting with the devil. Make sure to knock this time. Door slides open without a noise, or anyone behind it for that matter. Yeah, exactly the same. And this is the same cat as before, so therefore we're going to get exactly the same ending as the other time.
Since the
So
very
still
first
we've
day
only
we
discovered
met.
2 of the 7 bad endings of the game
Kindness.
itself. And that again. Together forever again. Goodness sakes, again with this. Still only 2 of the 7. Right, we have to take another approach. Not the cottage or the home this time, but somewhere else. go to the lab this time. Let's see what's there. A secret lab hidden below the library. No way. If this was true, it'd be the very definition of hiding in plain sight. I need to know if it was true. I need to know if it was the truth. Coming up to the residence, I questioned Alexa's aptitude for directions, claiming this was a secret lab? Seriously? There was nothing suspicious about it. I mean, it was reminiscent of my grandmother's home even. But with all the things I'd been through tonight, there was only one truth I couldn't deny. That I didn't know anything at all. I took notice of the neighborhood watch sign as I knocked on the door softly. Yet another thing reminded me of my grandmother. There was no answer. Alexa must have gotten this one wrong. It's late and the people inside are probably asleep. Just then the door clicks open. Hi.
Ah, could this be?
Could this be what?
A human soul knocking at my door?
Yes, it is. What's with his teeth? Out comes a child dressed in a lab coat and some sort of steampunk-esque mechanical glasses. He bounces on his feet joyfully and comes close to examine me.
Good, good.
What's with your laughing, mate? Looking at my costume up and down, he tusks as if to shame me. Circling me, he presses on to what seemed like a transmission device on his ear and begins speaking into it.
New specimen received.
Fine.
Looks to be in great condition.
Exactly. We're not exactly a Pokemon card to be graded, you know. Wait, what?
Specimen displays a vast focal range.
Okay, so this definitely is the secret lab.
Preliminary survey suggests a healthy larynx.
Thanks, larynx. He gets so close I eventually push him backwards, irritated at his blunt invasion of privacy.
Specimen is capable of utilizing a surprising amount of force.
Yes?
Take note to prepare relaxers upon dissection.
What do you mean dissection? Dissection? What was going on? Hey! There will be no dissection. Is that how you treat someone sent by Satan? The remark stops him in his tracks. I guess pulling that card was a good move.
Specimen claims to be an acquaintance with he who shall not be named. Cancel preparations.
Great. I let go of a breath and I didn't know I was holding in.
Well, human, how can I be of assistance?
Do you have any of these candies which have an eye on it?
It's not every day that one gives a human a pass.
Thanks to that. Alexis said the same thing. So it was kind of a special case. I cleared my throat. I'm on the search for these candies. They have these designs that looks like eyes. Do you happen to have any?
You mean the devil's candy?
Yes?
Sure, I got plenty.
Thank you.
Why?
Well, I need them. For a deal I made with the devil.
So he's resorted to placing deals with a human, huh?
Yes.
Just what do you have on him?
I'm not sure I have anything. I just came to his house is all. He seemed like he was in a good mood, preparing for his and his son's birthday. The child looked skeptical, and the more I looked at him, I realized he couldn't have been a child at all. With red eyes, sharp ears, and even sharper teeth. This one had to be a vampire.
Your death?
Excuse me?
What was the cause of your death?
It was by a cat that was overly obsessed with us. I described to him the glimpses I had seen of a red-eyed monster, leaving out all the gruesome
A
details.
giant red-eyed monster?
Yes?
Could have been one of mine, actually.
Really now? One of yours? He smiles smugly.
Yeah, I dabble in a little bit of biogenetics when I've got the time.
Okay. Wow. Wow, that's something. I would have picked gross, but that could lead to another bad end. Which I probably should have done, actually. I should have done that. The smile on his face probably couldn't get any wider.
No, human.
What
I
exactly?
think I can help you.
What do you mean, help me?
If only to find out what the other guy is up to.
What do you mean, other guy? Funny, I'd imagine Satan to be like some sort of Kingdom's monsters. The way he was talking, though, I doubted that much.
One devil's candy, coming straight up.
Thank you very
Let me get the
much.
jar.
Cheers! Wait, you got a jar of these things? That's a huge amount. He came back with a glass jar full of candies. My stomach clenched at the thought. Still, I pushed those things aside. I wanted to get this done, right? I reached in from the one on top. Realizing the texture was actually quite soft, my stomach immediately lurched. Was that an eyeball? Gosh.
Diligent assistants are so hard to come by.
So basically, they put the eyeball within the jar of eye candies.
Excuse me.
He plucks the eyeball out and places it in a sealed bag. With the same glove, he gave me one of the candies.
There you go.
Thanks. Don't you give me a laugh. That was meant to be the trick, wasn't it? Waving me off, the vampire shuts the door firmly. Feeling queasy but accomplished I had completed my goal, I turn around and head off. Time to get this done. And I bet it's going to be the same dialogue again, isn't it now? Also, the game doesn't allow us to skip. Like, we're clicking... Oh, we are, actually. Some parts we can, but other parts we can't. It's the same cat. Should I even go through this? Let me skip. We've been through this before. Together forever. No, thank you. Okay, what happens if we collect gross? I imagine that could possibly lead to a bad end. Gross. Dabble? What kind of monster are you? How can you casually say you enjoy something as gross as that? He wrings his hands for a minute before responding.
You know, a man's work is his identity.
Okay.
I don't appreciate you coming by to insult that.
Fine, okay. Ah, sorry. I got carried away there. I didn't mean to insult you.
No.
What is it?
Apologies are just lies said after misconduct.
Okay, so what's going to happen now?
And I will have none of that.
Thanks. He pressed the device in his pocket again.
Attention, Liddy. Time to collect our haul. This
Thanks.
one might be a runner.
Okay, a low snarl comes from behind the door, getting louder and louder. Realizing I just made a very grave mistake, I turn and dash off. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. I look back to see a giant sludge monster standing by the vampire's side, readying itself to catch me. And within seconds, I'm captured by the beast. I'm carried into the house, kicking and screaming before being shot with a full dose of sedative. As I lose consciousness, all I can register is the mad laughter that rings through my head. Bad end specimen #829. 3 of the 7 bad endings accomplished. So let's go to the mansion this time. Click the mansion. The mansion at the top of the hill. I knew what that meant, but I just couldn't believe it. I just needed to see for myself. Who would be up here? The journey up to Benji's family's mansion took far longer than I imagined. And by the looks of the massive gates, it certainly seemed like they took every effort to stay as far away from the rest of the townsfolk as possible. Still, this is it. I couldn't place Benji living here at all. For a guy as vibrant and energetic as he was, this seemed all too cold. I bite my lip. He could be a count for all we know. Alexa did put him on the list. I still couldn't believe it, but maybe he had more than his fair share of secrets after all. I thought back to class. Benji had sincerely asked for forgiveness in front of a whole class, and I shot him down. I never really defended him in front of Elixir either. I guess I just assumed they had their reasons for their hostile dynamic. Maybe he wouldn't answer, but I needed to try. I knocked on the door softly. Once. Twice. If Benji had resolved to avoiding me, I had no right to intrude. Besides, there wasn't any guarantee he had helped me anyway. Deciding I'd better move on, I pull out the map once more. Where should I go? Okay, so far we've got 3 of the 7 bad ends in this particular route. Yep, we're already there, so I don't think we can just repeat our own actions here. So I'm not sure if there's going to be different variations because we came to the mansion first. Don't open the door? That could be an answer. Decide to search for another way out of his dream. I let go of the door's handle, but just as I turn my heels to leave, I feel a wave of fatigue wash over me. Suddenly my legs gave out, folding in on me. Air leaves my body as I've forgotten how to breathe. Is this a bad ending itself? My body doesn't struggle, doesn't fight, betraying my thoughts. It simply welcomes the darkness.
My.
What now, cat?
I can't tell you how disappointed I am.
Yeah, well, we're not going to fall for your tricks again, cat.
And to think I've led you all this way.
I don't want any of this.
Seems I'll just have to cut my loss.
Your loss?
I'll mourn you, my darling.
I'm not your darling. Bad end? Bad end binding fear. Okay, folks, I think we're going to leave it for this game. There are 3 more bad endings to find and a good ending to find itself, but I feel as though the requirements to get to those are too specific for an average player to be able to try and get. Like, we only have so limited choices in the game, and stuff that you could probably think that are very minuscule could actually possibly get to a good outcome, but like being in a particular costume, for example, that could be it. Or deciding to not answer Ash when we come through the game the first time, so it's like she could come in or she would have to wait and we ignore her phone call there. That could be another possibility. But I think for the moment I'm going to leave this game as it is, and hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. It's taken me a few weeks to get back in this game. I do apologise, but I've been doing other things in the background. And I hope you enjoy this game for what it's been, folks. So, hope you all have a wonderful day, folks, and we shall see each other in the next video. Hope you all enjoyed Devil's Door. Please look down in the description below where you can download this game for yourselves. It is absolutely for free. You don't have to pay for anything for this game, and if you do, then please contact the developers to ensure that they know about where on earth did you buy this game from, because it is not a purchasable game. It is a game that you can download for yourselves. It is absolutely for free from the Spooktober 2nd Annual Visual Novel Jam. I can't believe I just said all those words without mispronouncing anything. So, thank you all so much for watching, guys, and see you all in the next video. If you have any ideas about what the other endings could be and the requirements for them, then please put them down in the description below. I may revisit this game if the requirements themselves are easy enough to be able to follow through. But if it's something that's too specific, then I'm not going to put another hour's worth or so into the game where I could possibly put it into another game which I've yet to play. But not to say that I don't want to come back to this game. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care of yourselves.